Welcome to Thriving Entrepreneur with your host, Steve Kidd, third-generation minister and 30-year business coach. Listen in as amazing, world-changing authors, speakers, and coaches share their struggles and victories. And hear from best-selling authors' insight into how you too can live your life as a thriving entrepreneur.
This is Steve. Welcome to Thriving Entrepreneur. Thanks for being here with me. I so appreciate you. So glad for this time that we get to be together to spend some time here on the radio talking about things that are going to help you thrive in your life, and especially thrive in your business. You are an amazing, thriving entrepreneur, and in all that you do, you are making such an impact in the world. Today we want to talk about drinking in life and living it to its infinite potential. There is so much opportunity out there for you, so many good things going on. It's really just a matter of whatever you focus on grows. Whatever you look at is exactly what you're gonna find in life. So are you drinking in life, living it to its absolute infinite potential, or are you just waiting, expecting nothing, and finding that that's exactly what you end up getting? So sad when I meet people that that's where their life is, that they're really not alive. And that's the only way I know really how to say it, is they're still breathing. In my book, I actually call it being a zombie. They're dead. They just haven't had the politeness to lay down in the grave. And so I feel so bad for them, and I don't want that for you. I want you to drink life in, to live it to its infinite potential, to be healed and whole in the things that you have been through in life, because we all have, and to be able to smile and be powerfully amazing at exactly being you. I love that. I want that so much for you. I hope that you are happy and giddy today, but even if you're not, I hope by the time you're done listening here today that you will be able to drink in life, to live it to its ultimate, infinite potential, to be healed or begin the process of healing of all of the things from the past, and to live as a thriving entrepreneur. We are going to jump right into our first guest. Let's go. Join me in welcoming Connie Hubner. Hey, Connie, how you doing today?
Really great. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about you and how you show up in the world.
Well, I actually am a meditation teacher and an ordained minister. I founded a church called Divine Mother Church. But I also do energy healing. And I'm really here to tell you and your viewers about the energy healing. It has to do with the Divine Mother, which is the mother aspect of the unity of Mother, Father, God. And at this time on the planet, the mother aspect is coming forth. I'm sure you've heard, there's a lot of talk about the rise of the divine feminine and so on. Well, the Divine Mother, this mother aspect, the divine feminine aspect of the divine, is coming forth because our human family has gotten so disconnected, so conflicted, so distraught and disturbed and upset and fighting with each other. And so the Divine Mother is coming back truly to bring her family back together. So I have been working for a long time with energy healing, and I have found a way to work with the energy to actually heal people's hearts, which are probably the most broken, and heal people's vibrational field. Let me give a little background. We are all energy. we're really truly made up of atoms and particles, and they create the cells, and the cells create the organs that create our physical body. But the energy is more fundamental. So if someone knows how to balance energy, they're actually balancing the physical system. And so basically that's what I've discovered from a lot of internal self exploration. I've discovered what I call healing tools. I've written it in a book called Divine Mother Healing. And these healing tools use energy to heal, and anyone can do it. That's what's so wonderful, is that it's not difficult. You don't even have to be. I know I started this saying, I'm an ordained minister, and actually my church is all denominational. It's not, although it is a church, so it's in the Christian format, but we welcome and respect all religious persuasions, and because we're all energy, no matter where we are, whoever we are, we're made of energy. And when our energy gets discombobulated, when it's confused, then things in our life don't go right. They become discombobulated and confused. But if you can smooth out the energy that's flowing truly from life force, and allow it to come through in the way it was designed to come through, to support us, then the problems in life start disappearing. It's very interesting that working with the energy, because it's the basis of everything, will affect the physical body, and then it'll affect the physical body's and mind's behavior in the world, so that it becomes more supportive of you and of everything else, more aligned with what I say is aligned with the divine, but truly it's aligned with yourself, your true self, who is wonderful. Everybody's true self is truly good. It's just that it gets so twisted and blocked, and the fear comes in, and the anguish and the anger come in, that cause people to do disruptive, even destructive things. So my angle for helping to make a better world is to encourage people to use these energy tools that I've developed. And that's why I've got this book out. It's a workbook. I don't know if this is can be seen, but it's a workbook. You'll see it's in a workbook format where someone can just lay it on their lap and read some of these tools. And I'll tell you, want to know what some of the tools are?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, one of the most important ones is closing holes in your aura. A lot of times we're wide open, and other people's negativity, other people's issues, we pick up. I'm sure almost everyone has had the experience of, you're feeling great, your friend comes along and has all kinds of issues and problems, and then suddenly you feel like, oh my God, oh no, what happened? Another example is, you can walk into a room and you can tell from the energy in the room whether it's whether there's people are unhappy in there, people are angry, or whether people are light and joyful and celebratory. So anyway, those are just examples of how we are always responding to energy, and those negative, heavy energies that often are coming from someone else can impact us. So one of the things that I encourage people to do is close the aura. Get your own integrity in your aura, your own energy integrity. So I have a simple statement. All you have to do is, well, I call on the divine power. So in my case, I always call on Divine Mother, but you could call on Jesus. You could call on the divine intelligence of the universe, and you say, I call upon the Divine Mother to close my aura, and then you say, close to the astral plane, close to the extraterrestrial realms, close to the negative thought forms, close to the false gods, close to the interdimensional fields, close to the lost souls, close to the heavy, dense energies and entities, close to the, what else? COVID virus, which is an energy, close to the collective consciousness of our planet, close. By closing, you're not cutting yourself off, but you're maintaining the integrity of your vibrational field so that other people's concerns and pain and fears don't enter and cause you to lose your course, to lose your center. So that's one of the most important tools that I offer, closing holes in your aura. Of course, the auric field is this whole space around your body. Other tools.
So what happens to us if we don't close it?
If you don't close it, you're at the mercy of everybody else's thoughts and feelings. You're at the mercy of, you see, thoughts are energy, thoughts are vibration. So when somebody is thinking, even if they're thinking, I'm angry, I don't like that person, and that person might not be you. If your aura is open, it can enter your aura and make you feel anger, make you feel unhappy or uncomfortable. It's about the energy. Every thought we have creates a vibration in the space around us, and other people's thoughts create vibrations around them. And if their vibrations impact us, and they happen to be anger, frustration, pain, shame, we can start feeling those and think they're ours when they're truly not. We picked it up from someplace else. So by just strengthening and empowering your aura, you can stop that. Make sense?
Yes, absolutely. So they can, of course, get the book Divine Mother Healing and get help with that. If they wanted to work more deeply with you, do you have a website or something they can go to contact you?
Yes. It's called divinemotheronline.net. And there's all kinds of information. I have a lot of YouTube videos out explaining how to do these energy tools. What else? This book has, many, many varieties and different ways of using the tools. One of the tools is simply divine light. And all you say is, divine light is filling me now. More and more divine light pouring in. And you repeat that again and again. And what people don't realize is what you say you create. So if you say divine light is filling me, you actually activate light in your system. And same thing with the aura, closing the aura. You close the aura when you say, I now close to these different areas. I close the negativity around me. That's how powerful we are. Actually, people don't realize how powerful they are as a human being. That we're made in the image of the divine, and we have a lot of divine abilities that people aren't accessing. And one of them is our creativity. And when we think, we're creating. So it's good to be conscious of what you think and think constructive thoughts, because you're creating them in the field around you rather than destructive thoughts that you also create in the field around you. I've
And
been talking a lot, but there you go.
and the book, Divine Mother Healing, where can we get it at?
It's available on Amazon. It's available on Barnes and Noble. It's also available through my website. We have although the website will take you to either Barnes and Noble or Amazon, or Balboa Press. So that's where you can get it, and it's actually quite inexpensive. It's under $20. I wanted it to be inexpensive so that it could be accessible, because truly my purpose for doing this is I want to empower people. So many people feel a victim of what's happening in the world, or a victim of what other people are doing. And this really puts you in your strength by using these tools, by connecting with what I call the Divine Mother, Mother, Father, God. It's a very empowering. It is your life force. It's your life energy that we're talking about unblocking. And when your life energy can flow through you, your full stature, truly your beauty shows forth. Your knowledge can come out. Your divine purpose can activate and engage. So there's really a lot to uncover. And I know we have just a short interview here, but I've tried to, help people understand that you are really powerful beings. And this book is about honoring your power and empowering you more. So
Get the book, Divine Mother Healing by Connie Hubner. Connie, thanks so much for spending some time with us on the show here today.
You're welcome. Thanks for the invitation.
Are you willing and are you ready to invite in the healing aspect of God into your life? There is so much more for you. And until we allow ourselves to become healed and whole from those things that are holding us back, we never truly are able to drink in life. We're never able to live it to its ultimate infinite potential. We stay stuck in something that God has always wanted us to move beyond. And so I hope today you find yourself drinking in life and living it to its potential, and allowing yourself to finally be freed of and released from those things in your past that you so need to be healed from, so that you live as a thriving entrepreneur. We'll be right back.
If you're an author who's on a mission, stand out with your brand out. Check this out, guys. Yep, everything's marketing, and marketing is everything. Your existing book can become a best-selling book, or even, hey, like mine, a #1 international best-selling book in 5 days. Listen, if your business isn't known by everybody, it's obscurity, and that's death, right? The same thing is true for your book. If you're not happy with the way your book is performing, you got that far and then it just fell off the face of the planet kind of feeling, go to yourbestsellertoday.com. Schedule a talk with Steve. It's risk-free, it's guaranteed, it's proven. We've done it thousands of times. What are you waiting for? Yes, yourbestsellertoday.com. This time next week, you could have a beautiful seal on your book and get the attention that you deserve. Reach the people that you came to serve. Come on now. What are you waiting for? Grab a pen. Here we go. All you got to do is book a call. Yourbestsellertoday.com. Go to yourbestsellertoday.com. Book a talk with Steve. It's proven. It's guaranteed. It's going to happen. All you have to do is say yes to your destiny.
Welcome back to Thriving Entrepreneur.
This is Steve. Welcome back. Thanks for listening to Thriving Entrepreneur today as we talk about drinking in life and living it to its infinite potential. You do have within you an infinite, amazing amount of potential. Yours to have, embrace, and live in the midst of. And so, of course, we would be remiss in this episode if we didn't take some time now to talk about that. So, with that said, let's jump right into our next guest. Join me in welcoming Sherry Fernandez. Hey, Sherry, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve. How are you doing?
I am doing great, thanks. Tell us a little bit about you and how you show up in the world.
Well, I'm a I'm a mentor and a speaker, which of course you hear that a lot. But I have been working on personal development and developed some techniques I've been teaching for about 4 decades, actually. So I was long before it became trendy. I've been doing this kind of work first on myself, and then taught it to other people, and then wrote a book. So in that order. And
That's awesome.
yeah.
I used to use the phrase, I was a coach before we even knew to call it coaches.
Yeah, right. That's why I changed to mentor, and I think a mentor is somebody who's been there, done that, and they know the way, so they can kind of put their arm around you and show you the direction rather than, go get them, something like that. So yeah, I think that makes me a little bit different, unique in that I've lived it and not just talk about it.
Absolutely.
For a
So
long
tell us the title of your book and a little bit about it.
It's Life Mastery. That's the title, Life Mastery. The subtitle is Personal Progression Towards an Infinite Potential. The idea being that we all know that we're stuck. When we're stuck, we're not happy. We're happy when we're moving forward. And we can only move forward slowly, but we move forward slowly and steadily. It makes our dreams come true. And that's what's the journey. That journey is what makes people happy. And so that's the gist of it. I teach 8 areas that we have to progress in, not just so much of personal development is aimed at business or money. I talk, or sometimes fitness. I do cover all those, and education and integrity and lifestyle and vocation. So 8 areas. If we're not moving forward in all 8, we're not really moving forward. We're just exchanging one kind of progress for a lack in another area.
So, I mean, because sitting still really isn't totally possible in life. You're going somewhere, even if it's
Right.
nowhere fast.
Yeah. I say there's no status quo in the universe. There's not. Everything's, especially living things, are either growing or dying all the time. And so certain parts of our developments, either we're progressing or we're backsliding. There really is no stuck. We think we're stuck, but there is no stuck really. It's a backslide. Moving forward or moving backward, no other options.
That is a really powerful statement you just made. We're either growing or we're dying. Wow.
Yeah. Every living thing on the universe is either growing or dying. It's just how it is, It's the law of the universe. So in one part of our life, we might be thriving in one part, but we're whole people. That means something else. If we're not well developed, something else is dying somewhere else, even if one part's thriving, right? So to be a whole, well-rounded, successful person, it takes all those 8 areas and maybe more, but at least those 8 main areas.
So do you think it's fair to say, though, because I've been through, granted, my parents are psychology degrees. So I've been through some of those tests, but do you think it's fair to say that, at any given stage in our life, we're excelling in some areas and challenged in others of those 8?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not talking about balance here, because there is no such thing. If we tried to balance everything, like how are you going to balance the time you have to spend at work with the time you spend with your kids? You can't do it because you have to work and make a living, for most people that are not retired like me. So the balance, perfect balance, but being aware and making sure that we've got a handle on each of the 8 areas. That's life mastery, to not feel out of control, that we are making some progress. And granted, sometimes we're going to be working a little harder here. But for example, if we're working in our business and we're trying to make this business grow, and maybe we're so driven that we maybe just cut a corner here, or maybe not be quite honest there, we suffer in our character, right? Our integrity, our character suffers. And so then we're backsliding there, or a relationship might suffer because we're not putting the time into it. So while it won't be all balanced, we still need to make sure we don't suffer. Our integrity is intact. Our relationships are still getting the time they need. Not perfectly balanced, but not getting lost either.
That is so powerful because it's really easy to get excited about that thing that's going good in your life.
Yeah, the new shiny thing, right? And oh, I think that the wife or the husband or the kids will be there when I'm done with this thing. And I've got a little stray that way a little bit, just minor little things. And those are the things we regret when we let something important go because of something we thought was fun or exciting or challenging, or we're just into it in the moment. We have regrets. And I really believe you can live without regrets. It just, not that you don't live without mistakes, but you can live without regrets if you're just paying attention and making sure your life is well-rounded and you're progressing in all areas. You can live without regrets.
That brings up a good point, though, because, okay, we're all human, we've blown it. So perfect spot to get a regret, right? How do we deal with an obvious mistake we made and live with no regret?
That's a good question, because living with no regrets, how many mistakes have you made that you've been grateful for? All the time we make mistakes. People say, oh, Sherry, you're so wise. And what I want to say is, it's because I've made every mistake there is to make, just about. I've made so many mistakes and I learn from them. So a mistake isn't exactly not going to cause regrets. Regrets are when we have not been integrity with ourselves, when we have done something that's irreparable, that can't be fixed, that learning from is not going to be enough, that we just made a poor choice and almost knew we were doing it right and then regret it. I can think of a few. I'm there very many in my life, but there's a couple things. You can usually tell the things that go back and do differently. Those are the things you have regrets about.
So if you find yourself having a regret about something, let's say it's something, and that person is now passed, can you move from the place of regret to a place where you're okay in that area again?
Well, you better, right? Or you'll really be stuck, and that's never a good place to be. And we all know, I talked about being stuck, that's backsliding. No, yeah, I think that, of course, somebody's gone on and we say, oh, I wish I would have. And there's always going to be that once we've lost somebody, we could have done something a little bit better and have some regrets in that case. But again, the thing is to learn from it and say, because I didn't give this relationship the attention that it needed, I will not do that again. I will make sure that I'm giving my relationships it. If you find yourself having the same regret over and over again, that's a problem, right? We're not learning. So we'll learn from it, be a better person. My husband always says, I always walk away from funerals feeling uplifted, like I want to be a better person. And part of that is the regret of not paying more attention to that person when they were alive, right? So that's a little different kind of thing. But as far as making decisions that moved us forward, I think we can do that without regrets.
So, some people, we hang on to their regrets, like you're going to get a diamond ring for it or something, right? Why do we hold on to it so much?
That is such a good question, Steve. And one of my clients said, thank you for being blunt. And I said, blunt is my superpower. We hang on to it because we don't want to do the work to move forward. Laziness is a lot of it. We like to sit in the pity party. It's self-indulgent. It doesn't serve anything, does it? So sitting in with something and dwelling on it is counterproductive to moving forward. A lot of us do that. We just stay with we enjoy the pity party, or we don't want to do the work to move forward, whatever it is, but it's self-indulgent, and it truly is self-indulgent. You're no good to the world while you're sitting in a state of pity, self-pity. So I'll try to do coaching with me. You can imagine how that goes over.
Yeah, for sure. So can we ever get to a place where we feel like I've mastered life? I really got this life thing down good now.
I hope not, because then what would you do with yourself? No, I think that the point is, I am not a fan of SMART goals in particular. I like what Jim Collins called big, hairy, audacious goals. The really big goals, the really big things we want to achieve about who we are, ultimately financially independent, rock and fit and ripped. My relationships, my main relationship, sexy, warm. We're never going to arrive to the ultimate point. There's no, it's infinite. The happiness comes from just inching towards those things. As long as we're moving forward, I can have somebody who is in the depths of despair, and if I can get them just moving forward even just for that day. And I'll say, do this certain thing, hard thing. And then they'll text me back and they'll say, no, I feel happier. We are happier just moving forward, no matter how small. If we have to wait till arrive to be happy, we'll never be happy because we never arrive. There's no arrival. But feeling like you have a handle on each area, like what I like, I'm pretty fit. I can still do push-ups on I'm 66. I did a fitness competition a year ago. I'm pretty fit. Would I like to be more fit? Yeah, I'd still like more muscle. And I still feel like there's a few things I'd like to work on. My marriage is still really is awesome, but are there things I still like to be better at? Of course. But I feel like I've got mastery over my physical self, but that doesn't mean I've arrived to where I want to be. Does that make sense? So I have control, but I'm not arrived. And that's where we want to be in each area of life. I've controlled my finances, but I'm not rich yet. However, he wants to be rich. I have control over my education. I feel like I'm educating myself, but I don't know everything I'd like to know yet.
Absolutely. So for a person who, well, let's just call it bluntly what you called it earlier, a person who's been spending their life dying, what is a good first step to start really living in your life?
You know, when I have clients come in and we start getting started in this journey forward, somebody asked me in an earlier interview that what are the best habits to start with? It's whatever you feel like you need. Like somebody might be their first big habit is brushing their teeth every day. The thing that we need to do is whatever's on our mind and we're feeling like we need to do something about it. And for most people, it will be sometimes it's brushing their teeth. It might be prayer. It might be meditation or personal study or working out. But to pick the habit that you want to work on first, just pick one that you want forever, like a lifetime habit, and just start tomorrow. And don't pick a whole bunch of them. Don't try to jump that whole chasm all in one leap, right? We just want to make a little bit movement forward. So just find 1, 2, 3 habits you want to develop. Track them. You can get tracking sheets on my website, by the way, at lifemasteryinfo.com. Track those habits. They're free. I've given them away off every website I've ever had for forever. I've given those away. Track them. And once you get those habits down, I was 25. That's 4 decades ago, Steve. I'm 66 now. When I wasn't even quite 25. When I did my first tracking, so I started developing habits. So undisciplined. I was so undisciplined. And I started with 3 habits. One was, I think, they were morning prayer, journal writing, and some devotional study every day. That's what I wanted to do. And I still do those things. I've done them every day for 40 years. I took a few months to get the habit down, but once I did, I've been doing them. And now I track about 10 or 12 habits every month.
That's awesome. So for people that didn't catch it, do give us your website address again.
It's Life Mastery Info, because Life Mastery was taken, lifemasteryinfo.com. And of course, Life Mastery, the book, is available on Amazon. And I'm very excited that in about a week, the audio version will be available on Audible and all places you can get audiobooks. And I read that myself with this scratchy 66-year-old voice, but I had some help and it turned out really beautiful. The book is really nice in spite of my voice.
That is very awesome. Well, Sherry, I really appreciate you spending some time with us here on the show today.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the work you do, and good luck in all your different projects and endeavors. If I can do anything else for you, you let me know.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
What is your infinite potential? And are you living it? And because it's the word infinite, no matter how great life is, there's even more and more and more of life for you to be able to drink in and live it to an ultimate, infinite, ongoing potential as you live as a thriving entrepreneur. Oh, I want that for you. I hope you're in the process of living that way too. Let's take another commercial break and then we'll be right back here on Thriving Entrepreneur.
If you're an author who's on a mission, stand out with your brand out. Check this out, guys. Yep, everything's marketing, and marketing is everything. Your existing book can become a best-selling book, or even, hey, like mine, a #1 international best-selling book in 5 days. Listen, if your business isn't known by everybody, it's obscurity and that's death, right? The same thing is true for your book. If you're not happy with the way your book is performing, you got that far and then it just fell off the face of the planet kind of feeling, go to yourbestsellertoday.com. Schedule a talk with Steve. It's risk-free, it's guaranteed, it's proven. We've done it thousands of times. What are you waiting for? Yes, yourbestsellertoday.com. This time next week, you could have a beautiful seal on your book and get the attention that you deserve. Reach the people that you came to serve. Come on now. What are you waiting for? Grab a pen. Here we go. All you got to do is book a call, yourbestsellertoday.com. Go to yourbestsellertoday.com. Book a talk with Steve. It's proven, it's guaranteed, it's going to happen. All you have to do is say yes to your destiny.
Welcome back to Thriving Entrepreneur.
This is Steve. Welcome back. We've been talking about life mastery, about living to your infinite potential, and as I said at the beginning of the show, drinking life in. So what a better way to end today's episode than to literally talk about drinking, about wine. I've got a wonderful, amazing wine expert here that I did an interview with to share with you and to give you some insights from a real pro's perspective about wine. And maybe from that, you'll also learn a few things about drinking life in. Join me in welcoming Michael Juergens. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
What's up, man? How are you?
I am doing good. Tell us a little bit about you and how you show up in the world.
Sure. So I'm a partner in a global consulting firm where I run our winery solutions group, which oversees like a bunch of professional services that we provide to wineries. I am a Master of Wine candidate, so I'm pretty geeky about wine. I started the wine industry in the Kingdom of Bhutan and the Himalayas. And I've written a number of best-selling books about wine. And I do other interesting stuff, like I play the drums in a punk rock band and travel around the world doing extreme races and stupid spots and where I might die and drive things really fast. And so I think I probably show up on a couple different radar screens. I'm also a professor at the University of California, Irvine.
So basically, you're a really super conservative guy that never gets out of the house.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So a lot of social anxiety. That's a big problem for me. I'm working to overcome it.
So wine, and given especially where you live, there's so many different options for wine. But are you one of those it feels like, and I could be wrong, but it feels like there's two groups of wine people. There are people who are absolute snooty snobs, like, we'll just leave it at that. And then there's everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
So I have a theory on that, Steve, and I think that we fucked up wine in this country. And I think that most other countries that make really good wine have been doing so for hundreds or thousands of years. And then all of a sudden, in like the 60s, we said, hey, we can do it too. And so and the rest of the world was like, no, you can't, you wild, wild West American people. And so we had to make it like this. We had to over-engineer the rituals and the mystique and the prestige around it to kind of compete. And then that snowballed. And that's what we have today. And like to your point, yeah, there's a lot of snooty people that I think have the whole idea of wine as like this status snooty thing. Whereas everywhere else in the world, it's like this joyous share with family and friends. And yeah, you can spend a ton of money, but also every cafe that you walk into in Italy has a jug of wine already sitting on the table when you walk in. It's just part of life. So I think, to your answer, I fall very much in the latter camp. And like my latest book, Drinking and Knowing Things, is literally designed to kind of bring the joy back and make wine accessible to the people that don't want to be snooty about it and don't care. Some of the reviews on it are pretty funny. Like, it's a great book on wine if you can get past all the F-bombs.
Well, that could be fun too.
No,
So from what you're saying, you're not going to be the person who, when somebody goes to the store, you know, like a grocery store and buys a box of wine, that you're going to, you know, give them holy, you know what, over.
No, I mean, so far from it. I'm working on an industry certification called the Master of Wine. There's 417, I think, in the world. There's 57 in the U.S. And so, you know, I can play as geeky as I need to play in that space. But when you are a master of wine, you're actually not a master of only the fine, good, expensive wine. You're a master of. You're expected to know the entire world of wine. So I drink bottles of wine that are $8, and I drink bottles of wine that are thousands of dollars. Everything in between, and there's something in it for everybody.
So when you think about, you know, an $8 a box wine versus an $8,000 bottle of wine, for somebody who isn't at your level,
Yeah.
how do you describe the nuances and the difference to amateurs?
So, I mean, I think you can look at it from a sort of a complexity perspective, you know, how complex is it? How long is the finish? But to be honest, objectively, wine quality increases until you get to about, let's say, $150 a bottle. And after that, it becomes, the price is a function of supply and demand. So objectively, a wine that's $300 versus a wine that's $3,000, it's just the brand. Often from just a pure straight up quality level, they're equivalent. But let's just say take any wine in that spectrum. I would say, you know, generally we look at the intensity. Are the flavors more intense? Are they more complex? Do you get different things on the palate, or is it just kind of a one note song? Does the taste last in your mouth, you know, for 2 minutes, or does it immediately fade and go away? You know, how are the aromas leaping out of the glass at you, or you got to hunt for them? You know, there's some things, some criteria that you can really, you know, hone in on that says this is a higher quality wine objectively. That's the kind of geeky shit I do on weekends.
That's fun. So let's talk a little bit about your book and your newsletter, Drinking and Knowing. What kind of things do you share with people in the book?
So this whole thing started, you know, I'd written a number of other books about wine, and my friends, knowing that I was drinking a lot of interesting wine, you know, studying for the certification, were kind of after me to tell them what to drink. Like, come on, dude, tell us what we should be drinking. I'm like, I'm not responsible for your drinking. Just go out and buy some stuff and try it. And if you like it, cool. If you don't, go on to the next one, you know? And then, then I read this book, this wine book. This is about right before the pandemic happened. The person in it was ripping on the grape Chenin Blanc. And I was like, fuck you, Chenin Blanc is awesome. Like, don't rip on Chenin. So I got sort of incensed, and I wrote an email to like 10 of my friends that said, you should all go out immediately and buy some Chenin Blanc. It's great. Here's why. Here's a bottle. Go get it. And that email, like, everyone responded, like, this is awesome. Give me another one. And so I just started doing that once a week or so. And the emails got forwarded all over the world. And I got emails from all kinds of weird countries saying, hey, can you put me on the list? And the format's pretty much the same. It's just like, hey, I was drinking this last night. It's great. Here's why I think it's great. And you should go buy a Bovale Sarda. You know, and everyone's like, what's a Bovale Sarda? Like, it's this cool red wine from Sardinia. They're $15 and they're awesome. Go get one. So then the way that the book happened is I didn't set out to actually make a book about it at all, but people kept emailing me going, hey, can you send me all the back issues? I'm new to the list. I'm like, no, I can't do that. Like, sorry, you're late to the party, dude, but that's on you. That's not on me. And, but I got enough requests that finally I was like, all right. And I bundled the first 52 together and put it out, on Amazon as, take this book, every week, spend 5 minutes reading 3 paragraphs about it, and try a Bovale Sarda from Sardinia. or a Vermentino from Sardinia, or a Salmarundi from Hungary, and here's why it's cool. And maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But at the end of 3 months, you kind of starting to get it. At the end of the year, you're as good as any sommelier, and you really didn't do any work other than drink a lot, which is kind of what it's all about.
So, in any of your newsletters, have you done the other way where you're like, I drank this last night. Do not drink this.
Totally.
Will.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like, this is garbage. And then sometimes, like I one of the ones is on Pinotage, which is a South African grape. One of my best friends is from South Africa, so he obviously has been trying to get me to drink this wine for almost 25 years. And I've hated it for 22 of those years. And finally I tried one that was good. And so I better explore this a little bit. I tried a couple more. And so then I actually wrote one that was like, all right, I was wrong. I thought this wine was trash, but it turns out maybe I got a little smarter, my palate evolved, or maybe, who knows? But now I hereby decree this is okay. Go start drinking it.
That's a lot of fun. So, and if I've got this correctly, your books are actually published under the name Michael Ammon.
Amen. Oh yeah, Amen's my middle name.
Okay.
So for some reason, I just had it in my head that like you needed a pseudonym if you were going to be an author, but I couldn't really think of one when I published my first book, so I just used my middle name. And so then once you publish the first one, you can't like change it. So here I am, 6 or 7 books deep, and I'm like,
well, that is so awesome. So, what are you going to do with it now? Now that you've got 6 or 7 books in, what do you want to do with the drinking and knowing things world?
Well, I mean, I didn't set out to do it. Actually, it was funny. I threw a big wine party over Thanksgiving on the Saturday, and people were asking me that question. I was like, they're like, you should do this and make some money and do this other thing. I go, look, I started this for my friends to help them like think wine is cool and be comfortable trying stuff. And if everybody does that, that's great. Like I have other businesses that are feed my family, right? So like for me, I think the second I try to do something with this other than what I'm doing, it loses this authenticity, and then people are not going to respond to it as well. So my plan is to just keep doing what I'm doing, which is talking shit and drinking wine. And if people like it, awesome. And if they don't, fuck them.
All right. Okay. I like that. So will there be a volume 3, or do people need to join your newsletter if they want to go any further than the first?
Well, so what I'm doing is I'm putting them out as I go along. So I am at this week, which I haven't written yet. I got to get around to writing it. It will be number 100. So in another 4 weeks, I'll have enough to make the second year, year 2. And then, I'm assuming I keep writing it, eventually in a year from now, there'll be enough to put out a 3rd issue, and I'll just kind of keep doing that. But people don't have to wait for that. You can just go to Drinking and Knowing Things and put your email address in, and then you'll just start getting them from the beginning. Like there's no sign up, there's no fee, my goal, truly, Steve, my goal is to change the mindset of wine in America from it's this snooty thing to like this awesome, cool thing that I can do with my friends and have fun with it.
And so you said the website is drinkingandknowingthings.com.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. So
you should check it out, man. Get up on that.
Yeah, so give us your pick for this week. I mean, let me start from there. Out of all the wines you've ever drank in your whole life, do you have a favorite? It's okay to say no, but do you?
I get asked that question a lot, right? Like if you could just have one wine for the rest of your life, or what's your favorite wine of all time? And I do think it's kind of like this. What are you doing at the time? If you're out at the beach, like a big heavy red, it sucks, but like a nice white, crisp white, it's great. But if the gun to my head, if I had to pick, I would say Burgundy, and I would say wines from the Domaine Romanée-Conti winery are the ones that have consistently been just the most spectacular, magical experiences for me. They're also the most expensive. So probably not something I would drink on a daily basis, but.
So can we get a sneak peek? What is the next wine you're going to recommend?
You know what? I never I never think that far in advance. Like it literally.
Okay,
It's
well,
like
what was the last one you
week-
recommended then?
the last one I did was Bovali Sarno, which is the one from Sardinia. The one before that, I just pulled up the list really quick. The one before that was Gruner Veltliner from Austria. The one before that was Barbera. Then I had one from Colares. Colares is bitching. So Colares is this little town in Portugal where the vines grow on the beach, and they don't bother with anything. You just let them just run down the beach, like they just lay on the sand. And then when they start producing grapes, they go around with these little sticks and they prop them up in the air so that the grapes don't rot on the ground. And then they pick them, and then they make this wine. It's this big, rich red, kind of like a Napa Cabernet, but it's got like this like cool earthiness, and it's on the beach, so you get like the sea spray in it, and it's, I don't know, 20, 25 bucks. It's awesome. So it's stuff like that that people wouldn't know about, but now they feel a little bit more comfortable going into a wine shop going, hey, do you have any Colares? And then the staff person goes, either I don't know what that is, or they go, holy shit, you know about Colares? Yeah, we have some over here. You know what's going on.
Okay, I got one last question for you before I let you go. What wine do you recommend to people who don't like wine?
So I have a theory about that there's a wine for everybody. And there's just too much style variation, right? So there's big, super sickly sweet wines. There's really austere wines. There's red, white, orange, pink, everything in between, sparkling. And so I think the question is like, why don't you like wine? If you were to tell me the alcohol's too high, I would say you should drink some Mosel Riesling or Moscato. If you say it's too rich and heavy, I'd be like, oh, okay, why don't you try a Beaujolais? If you say it doesn't get me drunk fast enough, I'm like, let me show you what the deal is with port or Madeira, So like I could definitely hone in on it and say, depending on why you didn't like it, I would give you a different answer.
That makes total sense. I mean, I love grape juice, red, green, I've never had orange grape juice. I'm assuming since there's orange wine, there must be some kind of oranginess.
But do you drink wine at all?
No, because it always feels to me like somebody put cough medicine in my grape juice, and I just don't understand why you would ruin good grape juice that way.
Oh, interesting. But do you normally drink it? Do you drink beer?
No, I don't. I'm not a drinker at all.
You're not a drinker at all? Okay. Then that totally makes some sense. But yeah, I think. But truly, what I would say to anybody who would say they don't like wine, I would just be like, just go out and try some weird stuff. Like go into a liquor store or wine store, see a label that you don't know what it means, buy it and drink it, and just, if you like it, cool. If not, we know that, that one's off the table now. Try a different one. And just have a good time with it. Dude, in Spain, they have this thing called the wine fight. There's a little village in Rioja, and all the villagers come out once a year, and they throw water balloons and squirt guns, and they just douse each other with wine. Everyone wears white, so their clothes get ruined, and it's fun. Like, we couldn't do that in Napa. We couldn't do that in Sonoma. Here, like, people lose their shit.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah.
We should.
Yeah. We need to have a town somewhere in Napa Valley area that does that. It would be so counterculture to that whole area of California.
Could you imagine like filled up a super soaker with wine?
See, now, even with whether I drank it or not, I would be totally down for that.
Exactly. You wouldn't have to be a drinker to have fun with that. You could just blasting people and everyone's laughing and just having a good time. That's to me what I think we need to find that again for us. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely. Well, the book is called Drinking and Knowing Things. I love that. Michael, thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the show today.
Steve, appreciate you having me on, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Nice meeting you.
What a great way to end the show, just talking about sitting back, whether it be in Napa Valley here in California or in the south of France or in the Alsace-Lorraine region that's right between France and Germany, wherever it might be. There's so many places all around the world. I know Oregon has really become a big wine place, all of those kind of things. Or maybe just at home, cuddled up with somebody you love. What a great way to really just drink life in, to have an amazingly wonderful time, to be with the one you love, to be comfortable in your own skin, to live, to thrive, to be, and to reach your infinite potential. I love that word infinite potential because, there's no end to infinite. You just keep growing and growing and going. C.S. Lewis wrote in the last of the Chronicles of Narnia books, one that they've never made into a movie. I would love to see them make the book The Last Battle into a movie. I've always hoped. I was hoping when they did it the last time, that they were going to do it, but they didn't get that far. He does a beautiful view of heaven. And I'm not going to go into it because it would be a totally spoiler. You got to read the whole Chronicles of Narnia books. But the underlying element of heaven is you continue always moving further up and further in. What a blissful heaven that is, to be able to continue to always learn and grow and be more and have more. To have the infinite potential that is yours continue to grow even after your body is no longer here on this earth and your spirit is freed from the bounds of mortality to continue to learn and grow and be and thrive, and to continue even in that element to drink life in to its ultimate, fullest, great potential. And while here on earth, for you to share all that you are, to be the best you that you can be while it's called today. Because you are uniquely brilliant. You were created for a purpose, and the world needs you. I'm so delighted every time I get to be able to come together here with you on this radio show to share with you, to be with you, and to hopefully bring some insights into your life that make you thrive, that help you have a thriving business, a thriving life, and that in every aspect of it, you can look at yourself and say, oh yes, I am a thriving entrepreneur. Drink life in today. Live today to its ultimate, infinite potential. Be all that you can be and thrive. And until we're together again next time, I hope you're happy, safe, warm, and loved, that you know how amazingly wonderful you are in this world, that you feel the infinite potential and power rising up within you, and you have a great week.
Thanks for listening to Thriving Entrepreneur today. If you want to get your question answered, send an email to questions@wehelpyouthrive.com. We look forward to you joining us again next time.
If you're an author who's on a mission, stand out with your brand out. Check this out, guys. Yep, everything's marketing, and marketing is everything. Your existing book can become a best-selling book, or even, hey, like mine, a #1 international best-selling book in 5 days. Listen, if your business isn't known by everybody, it's obscurity, and that's death, right? The same thing is true for your book. If you're not happy with the way your book is performing, you got that far and then it just fell off the face of the planet kind of feeling, go to yourbestsellertoday.com, schedule a talk with Steve, Steve. It's risk-free, it's guaranteed, it's proven. We've done it thousands of times. What are you waiting for? Yes, yourbestsellertoday.com. This time next week, you could have a beautiful seal on your book and get the attention that you deserve. Reach the people that you came to serve. Come on now. What are you waiting for? Grab a pen. Here we go. All you got to do is book a call. Yourbestsellertoday.com. Go to yourbestsellertoday.com. Book a talk with Steve. It's proven. It's guaranteed. It's going to happen. All you have to do is say yes to your destiny.